there was somebody, a group of people who were not going to put up with bullshit outside of Cincinnati, Ohio the other day.
Yep.
There were a group of people who, I don't know, consider themselves white nationalists, I guess, and they thought they were going to walk through, I want to say the name of it was Lincoln Heights, was outside of Cincinnati. And I think it was a predominantly black area. And they thought that they were going to walk through this black area. Mm-hmm. And in that black area, the community came together and they said, hey, guess what's walking through the community? And the armed militia that you like to hear about and you like to celebrate, well, guess what? You get to see one here in a few minutes.
Get him the fuck out of here, man! Get him the fuck out of here! Ain't nobody scared of you, motherfucker!
Just before 3, there are about 13 people dressed in black on the bridge above I-75, waving a white supremacist flag, and some of them had swastika armbands.
A group of white supremacists armed with assault rifles was seen Friday hanging a banner and flags in a historically black community of Lincoln Heights in Cincinnati. And when word began to spread about their arrival, over 100 black people of the community showed up, and they showed out.
I'm out. Still Lincoln Heights is open team shit.
And after the police set up a barricade to protect the protesters, the angry mob broke through it and chased them down. The group was then seen hauling ass in the U-Haul truck as the angry mobs snatched their flags and burned them.
Where was the arrest? They just let these people drive off and disrespect us and our heritage. And y'all gonna let these terrorists and racists come over here and do that?
Ma'am, do me a
Who
favor.
they here to protect and serve? That's what I want to know. Who are they protecting and serving? Because it ain't us. It ain't the people.
Yeah, I noticed the difference between groups there. There's one group who's always a bunch of big pussies who always have to wear masks because they don't want their faces to be seen. And then there's another group who said, you're coming into our neighborhood and you're doing this just to act like a fucking asshole. So we're going to do something about it, and we're going to chase your dumbasses right out of here. And like they always do, packed into the back of a U-Haul that they always seem to rent, and then dip the fuck out of there.
Yeah. 3 things. My name is spelled wrong on your ticker tape.
Wait a minute. What? I got all kinds of use. Well, I wanted to extend your name because you're more than just Waka. You're on a quest.
Second thing is, it's funny because I have this clip for Thursday, but then my clip has a lot of N-words in it, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I'll get flagged for that.
I had that one too, but I found that one too. So I was like, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Did you get flagged?
Maybe you might. Yeah. I think you will.
But people say it all the time. I'm not saying it. It's a video.
Fact, even on, and real quick, I'll let you back to your point, but even on YouTube and stuff, I don't think we're allowed to say RRA. I think we have to say like grape instead of, or you also have to say, I don't think you're even allowed to say the N word for the German group that, and you're not even allowed to say the guy. You get to say like the mustache man.
But what I'm not saying it. What if I'm watching a tape of somebody else saying it?
That's a good question. You might want to Google that and see if that's something that.
Because I do have that video, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to get in trouble. It's like,
you might want to Google it and find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Third, the third thing is that this is really sad. Like, it's really, like, I laugh about this, but this is really sad where we're at. He's gonna put us backwards. We are there.
No question.
It feels like 50s and 60s right now. They're emboldened. I saw that there was a KKK rally somewhere. Like, they're just emboldened, and we're going to see more of them. They're going to be in the streets. I mean, he always said civil war, so that's kind of what he wants too. Like, he wants us divided. He wants us fighting. races aren't the only ones that have the Second Amendment, right? Right. Like, so it's not going to be pretty, but it's not a good place where we are. Like, I don't feel good right now because it does feel like a place I don't recognize, right? Because I did not grow up old enough to be in the 60s, like, marching and stuff like that. That wasn't my time for that. So to be here now feels like what we saw, right? Like them walking across like the bridges, the dogs out, like the Klan out there, like, I don't know. It does feel like lynching can come back. Like, how does that not? Like, I don't. Where is the line drawn? They're gonna have immunity. Where's the line at this point?
You would think that a real leader, if he really was somebody that didn't back this, he would come out and be
Right.
on national television and say, this is absurd. In fact, quite frankly, if I'm president, I would fly directly to that site and have a press conference there and say, this is the kind of shit that we don't fucking tolerate in this country. But for Lana to say in 2025 that she feels more uncomfortable in 2025 than she may have even before this is something. I mean, that's something to take very seriously.
That's a crazy thing to watch. Like,
yeah.
That's wild to
Yep.
watch. You gotta understand that is fucking crazy.
Yep.
Because the boldness is they ran this time. What happens the next time, right? You're not going to get the same group all the time. There may be a physical altercation. We know what happens with that. They're going to protect them racists. That's who they protect. They're not going to protect those Black people.
They all had guns too. They all had. I guess Ohio must be an open carry state.
Yeah.
So, and that's going down. And again, this is setting up. It's not going to be like the Civil War, obviously, the 1800s, but this is going to be setting up for a lot of that kind of stuff that's going to be happening in the streets because you have, like Lana said, these emboldened assholes who think they're going to walk in. But what's funny is that these pussies are they're the ones who always retreat first. Always. They want to act like big, bad, tough guys, but they're the first ones always to jump in their U-Hauls with their masks on and get the fuck out of there. First of all, if this is their country now and everything is going their way, why are they even wearing the masks anymore? What the fuck do they need the mask for anymore? Unmask yourselves.
Yeah, well, that KKK video, they didn't have no masks on. They didn't care. They didn't care.
And for anybody watching this, there you guys talking about race again. You can go fuck yourselves. All of you go fuck yourselves because you don't understand. You'll never understand. Fucking I don't understand even nowhere near as much as Lana. So if I am pissed off about it, I can't even imagine how pissed off Lana is.
It's gotta make you like normal people. That would make you uncomfortable. I'm just like, that's just why. Like, if I looked out my window and saw the motherfuckers walking down, I'd be like, what the fuck, right? You don't feel safe because you don't know. Your children are not safe. Like that whole altercation is just fortunate that it happened the way it did and they hauled ass and ran, but like
something bad's coming at some point.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's getting too heated. They're showing up everywhere and on purpose and going
3 weeks in. 3 weeks in.
Right, exactly. They are bolden like a motherfucker. So
did you see the clip of the guy who thought he was going to play police officers with the Mexican guys that were sitting in their truck?
Oh my God. What's wrong with people?
See, these are the kind of people.
I don't know. Is it a state crime? Trump's going to pardon him if it's federal. He'll get out.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, we laugh about that, but he literally pardoned people who, you know what? I got to play this clip line. I'm going to play this clip real quick before we go. He was asked about that. Another good question by a journalist. Let me find this clip here. Son of a bitch. Lana, you're still with me, right? I always ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
You said you're going to honor first responders today, but you pardoned hundreds of people who assaulted first responders. Why did you do that?
Who?
You were going to meet with first responders today, but you pardoned people who assaulted first responders.
No, I pardoned people that were assaulted themselves. They were assaulted by our government.
Unreal.
I pardoned J6 people who were assaulted by our government.
Unreal.
That's who assaulted, and they were
Unreal.
treated unfairly. There's never been a group of people in this country, outside of maybe one instance that I can think of, but I won't get into it, that were treated more horribly than the people of J6. So, no, I didn't assault. They didn't assault. They were assaulted. And what I did was a great thing for humanity. They were treated very, very unfairly. There's never been an incident like this.
Unfucking believable. I mean, that is just unfucking believable. Unfucking believable that I'm listening to this shit. That's unreal. Unreal. I don't know what else to say. That's just unreal.
I mean, we elected a felon and a racist, and he's doing what felons and racists do to his core. I mean, he's almost 80. The fuck do we think? Like, this man really wants a different time. He lived in a different time, and that's where he wants to go. Like, he knows he's an 80-year-old racist, misogynist, fucking bigot.
Yep. By the way, on an airplane, is anybody safe flying? Does anybody feel safe flying anymore? Wasn't there another? It was Vince Neil of Motley Crue ran into the airplane of some other star yesterday in the I'm trying to figure out how Vince Neil still has fucking money to have his own private jet. I didn't realize Vince Neil was still pulling down that kind of cash.
Maybe them residuals on the royalties.
I guess. I don't know. But that another, I mean, we are, like I said, 3 weeks in, and I've heard of 4 major plane incidences since, and I don't think I've ever heard of 4 major plane incidences in or accidents or anything like that in such a brief period of time ever in my life.
Something's coming. Like, something's going to happen. Sorry, but we know it is. Like, I don't know what it is, but something. I don't know. Hamas is out there just mad and disgruntled now because Trump's talking about ethnic cleansing. Like, it's just a whole mess.
The only thing I can say that I'm gotten away with, that the only thing I'm happy about, and nothing against anybody else out there in you, Lana, but the only thing I'm happy about is I don't have kids in this world, because I don't.
Yeah.
We're fucked. This country's fucked unless we do something about it in this next. Hopefully, we can pull off this House thing, and then 2026 we got to do something about it.